Okay, there we go. You can continue.
Okay, so you go in. So she goes. She takes the prize money. She goes to this roughly 40 to 80 foot tall door. It's roughly 35 feet wide, and she knocks on it. However, her knocks are like not what you'd expect. They're actually loud, booming knocks. As she knocks on it, the door slowly opens, and the same fire giant that you had saw her fight before, she enters. Uh, she lets her in, and she enters. Do you follow Asterix in?
Mm, probably not, because you said like it lets her enter. What makes you think that's gonna let us enter?
The only way to know is to try, dude. D&D. Give it a
Alright,
shot.
alright, I'll follow her. Worst case scenario, I get grinded into a paste with her giant foot or something.
Okay. Tasha, do you follow? I'll take that as for story reason, yes. So, as you two follow her in, Fire Giant City. Yeah, Fire Giant is roughly 20 feet tall. Just a little above 20. She's sitting down, she's eating like a big meal. And Asterix actually gives her the 500,000 gold pieces from the fight and puts it on the table and she says, "You fought just as good as when we first met." And then the giant laughs. "Back then, I could have smacked you against a boulder, though." And they two exchange like stories, and Asterix explains how she's currently in the position she's in. The two seem like very well and acquainted old friends. Gonna say anything? Or you guys
Oh
just like
well.
eerily creepy in the corner?
Oh well, I'll just go introduce myself. Like, greetings, fire giant. I am Grok the wizard. It's a pleasure
Grok,
to
you're gonna
make
have to
your
speak up
acquaintance.
for one.
Oh,
Asterix is
sorry.
saying this though. Grok, you gotta speak up. You're very tiny and she's very tall.
Okay, stand up as tall as I can and go. Like, cut my hands over my mouth so I can go. Like, so it'll echo so she can hear it. It's like, my name's Grok. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Fire Giant like kind of moves her chair back a bit and like bends down a bit and looks at you and she's like, "You're rather puny."
Yes, I'm rather on the short side of my species. Yes.
Well, you're
And
a
who'd be the one
giant.
in the corner?
I look over to our druid.
Yeah, she's looking over to Natasha in the corner. Because you
Mm.
two are very creepily in the corner.
Hi.
Hello there. And who might you be?
Uh, I'm Magnolia. I'm a druid.
Okay, you're like meta game breaking the game low key. But okay.
Eh,
How?
how?
Because
That's druid.
Oh yeah, class,
no,
right?
tactically that your character does not know their class, they just know what suits them and how they fight.
Yeah, like you're
The
not
only
supposed to
very
like.
few classes that are known are the barbarians, but they're called berserkers in D&D.
Well, what
Yeah.
do you want me to say?
I know, just because it's
Everyone's
point
been
that out.
referring to me as a druid anyhow.
Only
Uh,
the people, none of the NPCs is referred to you as a druid.
oh, hang on.
Okay, so how does that do that? Grok, I needed you to cast the saving throw real quick.
Saving throw? Okay, which one?
Uh, a con save since it would be fire damage.
Oh god. I got a net 20 plus 1, so it's 21.
Okay. You feel so. She goes to pet you, the giant, like the very tall giant woman, just to feel how really short you are, but she stops halfway through, and you feel like the intense, radiating heat, almost like the sun, is bearing down at you at its fullest strength. You manage to like somewhat withdraw so you don't become a burnt, crispy turtle as you move your hand up. You're pretty short. I know I said that already, but you're like barely up to my foot.
Well, of course, for a giant, everybody would be short to you.
Except
And very
Asterix down
tiny.
there.
I mean, like, she's like 7 feet.
Asterix like gigantic.
Everyone's gigantic compared to us.
Yeah, I think even like the. No, wait, are centaur? Yeah, I think centaurs
Yes,
are like
centaurs are
fairly tall.
gigantic too. Centaurs are like 8 feet tall.
Like 12 feet, I think.
No, 8 feet's cap.
Oh, yeah, it's still like pretty tall.
I have a
Yeah.
feeling if the centaur hangs around long enough, I'm pretty sure Silverhand's gonna end up fucking it.
Do you realize, you're one, just relax on that. Two, he's got the savior, so he's good. Four, alright. She looks at you and she says, "So how do you two know Asterix?"
Well, I met them in the woods, like while I was wandering, searching for new books to read, hoping to expand my knowledge of magic.
And you? Turns to
Uh,
Magnolia.
Around the about the same time, we, we all basically met in the woods.
I have a question. Did you know Asterix is probably the strongest person I've ever faced, or are you both oblivious to that?
Oh
Oblivious.
no, I'm very certain that she's like the strongest person you've ever fought. It's like I've seen her demolish a different golem to bloody bit.
A golem. Don't even bring me to those lesser abominations. There are attempts at man trying to make my race. She
Well,
like gives
you
you a stare. Her fire eyes actually like extend longer. And if you
yeah,
want to like
she.
see what she looks like, I can give you a description. Just now, if you decide to roll for perception.
Oh, all right. I'll roll perception. Well, you already sent a picture anyway, but I'll just roll perception.
No, I said what the general idea was, not what she looks like.
Oh, all right. I'm pretty sure you. Well, I would say like because she's fairly new. I would say you have a commission of her already.
No, I wish, dude. I wish I had the time to get a commission up, fully flesh out this character, and fully balance this character for follower potential. But
I'm
no.
at 15.
18.
Okay, so as let me get my proper notes out because I actually had the wrong page open. Give me like 1 second. This is why you take notes, Natasha.
Mm-hmm.
So she is like a typical fire giant. So for one, her skin tone is like a lighter version of the fire, and her hair is a very dark red. However, hers is very special in the fact that her hair is actually blue, which signifies she's actually one of the hottest fire giants you can come across. She's a special variant. Um,
Emphasis on hot.
so
Well, I'll just roll a charisma for that. I'll tell her that. Oh
okay,
wait,
give me
no, she
one
hasn't
second.
said anything, and
Yeah,
she hasn't said that actually.
yeah. So you can see from her legs up, she does have somewhat armor. but it's not natural armor. Like it's this extension of her body because her body is actually the flame. However, there's like molten magma that would form shoes around, and they're somewhat like hide shoes with the steel plate on it. And then there's a gap between where the shoes are. They just drop slightly. It covers the shins, but they don't cover the knee. You can tell that's for faster movement and all that. And then you can see her normal fire skin all the way up, and then around her waist she has like somewhat metallic gold band around it with a red jewel in the middle, which is part of her flame still. And you see a long, similar to the hide boots, but more magma like thing that drapes down between the middle of her legs. And then you see up to her chest is like it looks like full metal, somewhat heavy armor. However, it actually doesn't look as thick as heavy armor. It's more light, more just covering, but it has the interlocking segments that it looks like from the magma. So it looks like heavy armor all the way up to her chest, and her chest is emphasized by a little blue flare that goes along the tip of the magma. It does not represent tear, however, it does represent where the armor ends. And then on her thing, she has two gold bands on her upper arm, just above her muscle, on each side, and she has what looks like gauntlets that are made out of the same magma as you can see for all her armor. And then it looks like she's got a gold band around each one of her wrists, and her gloves, which would look like gloves, but again, this is all just the extension of her and how she is for a fire giant. Um, Looks somewhat like fingerless. Has to give her more freely a firmer grip on any she holds. Her hair goes down towards her lower butt to her rear due to like her size and how her flame would be, and you can tell that by where that's where the blue flame ends. Um, Her face looks similar to astriek's. Not like similar, but like in the roughly like edged and battle torn face, but it's still somewhat smooth and it's still got that feminine features there. However, you can see them in greater detail. You can see a scar that goes from the top of her face down her left eye, and it's a slightly white. It's like white for the flame. It
Yeah, it's
is
like right
definitely,
against her fire body.
yeah. And both of her eyes are also a lesser shade of yellow than the rest of her body. However, you can definitely see that there's somewhat pupils that you can make out. They're almost none to no fire there to leave some room for the pupils, and you can kind of see the blackness for the magma. However, you can see like her red, yellowed eyes hewing through. And that's your fire giant with blue hair.
I guess I like examine her armor and tell her it's like on my tippy toes. Like, I'm sure you get this a lot, but you really look hot, like in a joking manner.
So what was your charisma on that?
Let me see. I think my charisma is +0. It's like it's neutral.
Go, what was your charisma? Throw.
Oh, 17.
Kind of. She doesn't really laugh, but it makes her kind of smile. But she's heard it before. You can tell. It's definitely something she's like. I think you try to be too wise in the jokes. You should focus more on original material. Against the wall, since you rolled high enough perception, you actually see two giant, fully magma encrusted, full on black dwarven shields. Two gigantic ones with spike coming out each of the front sides. The spikes are roughly around 12 feet out from the shield. Each shield is roughly 25 feet tall. and you see a burning greatsword that is roughly similar to the shields in size and height, and then you see a hammer along with another great axe, all on fire, all 25 feet tall.
Wow, this place looks like an armor in here. Is this all the gear that you use for your gladiatorial fights?
This be the gear I use in case this place needs protection. The gladiator pit more or less doesn't like extreme prejudice and other gladiator members to die. So we use our fists.
Well, with you around, I'm sure the underground tavern will be in safe hands.
It's if anyone can find it. It's protected by ancient fey magic the astriks cast years ago. So the fact you two, Strum, when I first saw you two, that you just wandered in, I assumed you were with her. Because very few people even know of this place's existence, and very few people know of its location. Even fewer people know how to actually get in here.
It's all very secretive.
I mean, when you want to be outside the law and run a place where people like such as myself won't be prosecuted for being our race, you tend to want that.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, people can be pretty unjust to some races sometimes. I mean, look at half elves.
You can roll a history check to see if you even know that.
Alright.
Because you're a turtle,
History.
the only half elf you've actually met is Siona. And it's going to have to be with disadvantage since there's so few half elves.
Alright, yeah. 2 history. Alright, 19, 25 total for the first one. And oh jeez. 11.
I'll say you know of half elves and you know little of their struggles, but you don't know the full intense details that people actually hunt them for their ears as well.
Can I
Yeah.
can I cut in real life for a second?
What's up?
I've had to leave like several times, and I'm really
It's
sorry.
fine. It's fine.
It's just
Just
us
keep
three
going.
here.
Just keep going. All right. So what are you gonna say with your newfound fact you have no knowledge of the true type of the half elves?
That depends on what that means.
Well, he made a comment about half elves that he had learned from not his character, and then it's a little history check. He's got to reword what he said to her because he doesn't know what he just said.
Alright. Do you like how half elves are like um
You know their
are
social outcast. That's about it. That's about all I can tell you.
alright. That they're social outcasts because of their hybrid heritage, so to say.
That sounds awful.
You must know very little about the half elves, if that's all you think they have to deal with.
Well, to be honest, I haven't really met many half elves, so yes, my knowledge of them is very limited.
Yeah, mine
They're
too.
very rare. There used to be a bunch of them, and there used to be a village of them. And then they were all hunted down and slaughtered.
No, that sounds even worse.
It is how it is. I have slaughtered villages in my time.
What
Asterix has destroyed whole countries in her lifetime.
villages of what?
People,
People.
I was gonna say races, but what?
when you're a giant, milady, you tend to not care, and the fires you usually spread from your body typically are more how do I say, burn everything and kind of incinerate everything.
Oh, so there's not even bones left, I guess.
It's called cremation, sweetie.
How awful.
How is it awful? Saves on burying.
It's awful for those who uh are still alive.
I killed every last one of them. There would be none left.
That's even worse.
No, it's not, because then there's no one to mourn them. And you kill every single one of them, because if you leave one of them alive, they'll eventually rise up and try to kill you. So you kill every single one of them, and you kill every single one of the bloodlines.
Wish I knew of bloodlines.
What do you mean by that question, Natasha?
I said I knew of bloodlines, like she doesn't know what she is.
Oh, like her bloodline.
Yes.
Okay, not of bloodlines. She would know that. Oh. You don't know what bloodline you come from.
No, I do not.
Ah, I wouldn't be able to help. All you puny creatures look the same to me sometimes.
At least you're not discriminative.
We all have secret discriminations against people. Even if we don't openly admit it, subconsciously we do.
I mean, you're a giant. How could you be discriminative of a certain race of tiny people if you can't
Dwarves,
tell?
hobbits, halflings, goblins. Just to name a few giants despised the most because they tried to hunt us.
Oh.
And typically, if we burn them and take all their stuff, we typically get a lot more areas.
Oh. I just realized something in a real life question.
What's up?
What?
No, nobody on the team would know what race I am, would they?
Nope.
Nope, not even close.
Figured. Figured nobody would
Well,
be able to tell.
the only one that would know would be Asterix and Morgana.
Might have to ask the witch the next time.
When do you want to know your race so bad? When do you want your character to know her own race?
Because she's gone her whole life not knowing anything.
Yeah, but because she doesn't know that, if she tries to lie, if she says she doesn't know what her race is, that might save her later down the line. You never know.
Why, you gonna make it where she's gonna try and be killed or something?
Her race technically is hunted down and killed on the spot. Similar to half elves and tabaxis and minotaur and some giant races.
So what's the point of my character not knowing even if everyone else is being hunted?
Because if you don't know, and you technically can pass as a human, when someone asks you something and they go to search your mind, which is a possibility with spells and stuff, they would find out you didn't know that information.
Wow. That's
D&D, baby.
that's too deep for me.
It's not even that deep. That's like any good book. Alright, back to the point. So, is that all you say to her?
Yeah, pretty much.
Turtle, I have a question. How much do you weigh? The giant ass.
Me?
To you,
Yes,
probably
Turtle.
nothing, giant.
Natasha, roll Constitution save real quick while she goes. Turtle, roll Constitution save.
I'm scared.
She's probably gonna pick me up and drop me on her like Asterix did.
17.
Not high enough.
Constitution.
Well, I have a +2, so that's 19.
Still not high enough.
Why does it? Then why even bother asking
Probably
us
got a 20
if
or
it's never gonna be
something.
high enough?
If you roll a natural 20 plus 1, that's high enough. It's literally
16.
high enough. So you feel the intense, scorching flames from her. She lowers her hands to kind of get a better size comparison for both of you. One of you is way shorter than the other. It almost you can almost tell from like the scorching flames. It's almost like the sun bearing down on you on the hottest day, but almost as if you were like within 6 inches of the sun, and you start feeling like you're burning up. Astrick seems to pay no mind to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is hot. This is hot. And like I'm like jumping like foot to foot, like on her hands or something, like akin to dancing.
She's not. Her hand is not touching you. She's just like like when people say you're this tall and they like lower their hand to you.
Oh, I thought she was like
No,
picking us up, like holding us
no,
in
she
her
won't pick
hand.
you up because she wouldn't pick you up because no amount of saves in the world would stop someone from picking you up and you not taking fire damage.
Oh,
they're on
Oh
fire.
damn! I just realized that
Yeah.
if Silverhand tries to have sex with her, he's gonna be burnt.
No, we already
I
went
mean,
over
like
this.
she's a
Technically, he
giant.
would be okay.
Well, how?
He asked for an armor that could absorb magic to protect him.
Are you kidding
Of
me?
course.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that
Uh,
was one of the items he asked for. He's like, have an item of kind of protection against magic based things. I'm like, well, I can give you an armor that has several charges you can use once per day. So he has an item that allows him to absorb magic.
Damn
And
it!
technically,
yeah, because like
I
he didn't
wanted him
want
to
the
burn
charm
for
thing because
it.
that'd be too broken or something.
what was that?
The charm thing he wanted, like that lets him like mass charm people or whatever.
It was a mass charm. It would he'd make people be able to follow him.
Oh, like
Uh,
friends?
I asked for an attraction thing too, not knowing that he asked for that.
I went over what everyone asked for, like with you in a recap.
I didn't remember it. Okay.
Oh, great! Off to an amazing start. All right, so you feel the intense fires, but she doesn't move her hand. She wants to see how both of you react to it. So, what's your reaction to this intense, almost like I do describe it as like being next to a volcano or the sun. You're within
Alright,
6 inches of it.
alright, I move slightly to the left, like out from underneath her hand, like
Her hand's
see
so
out like
giant it doesn't matter.
oh jeez. I was gonna like sidestep and then just go alright, I'll just go into my shell for safety then.
It's gonna be hotter in there though.
No, it won't.
Are you
All the
kidding
moisture's.
me?
You know how turtles work? I've
No.
had pet turtles. All the moisture's in the shell.
Ugh.
Yeah, they collect moistures and they withdraw on hot days so that way they can use the shell like a roof to protect themselves so they don't dry out.
I look at him and say, "No fair."
I mean I guess it depends on like what species, but like I mean since we're on an island it's like fair to assume that they're like more or less like sea turtles pretty much.
Ugh.
She removes her hand, and Natasha, I'm gonna need you to roll a dexterity saving throw
Why?
because technically your clothes are on fire.
No! Why the fuck are my clothes on fire?
Because he withdrew, so it doesn't matter.
His clothes should be on fire.
Yeah, but he withdrawn, so his clothes go with him. And any
That-
clothes he has outside goes on fire, and it doesn't affect him because he's in his shell.
I got
Physics.
okay. I have a 19.
You manage to feel a slight burning, and all of a sudden you start like rolling around on the ground as both of them laugh.
Ah! Ah! Fuck! I'm on fire!
Alright, can I use Ray of Frost on her to cool her down?
Ah!
You would freeze her in ice.
Oh, never mind. Well, I mean, like, oh wait, no, she moved her hand. I was like, she's underneath her hand, like she could just thaw her out.
Aster casts a little like thunder rain cloud above you, and it starts pouring down on you, Natasha.
Great, now I'm all fucking wet. There goes my clothes.
The giant moves her hand closer, and you feel the same heat again, but it's roughly like 2 feet 2 feet above you to like warm you up.
Oh god.
You don't have fire resistant clothes. How are you supposed to withstand fire attacks? They're the most common kind of spells.
Wait, I've been in the
Hint,
woods my whole
hint.
life, so I've never been around people or magic or anything outside of nature.
Nature is a type of magic, Natasha. You can't say
Well, it's the only
that.
magic. I've never been around fire or anything else.
I haven't
What about a
taught.
forest fire?
Yeah, I was about to say forest fires naturally happen and are organic as well from lightning.
But
Or
that's why I
someone
have.
leaving a cigarette outside?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Don't be a
Looking at
dick.
Aiden, he's
Shake.
gonna leave his cigarettes right there, and then it's gonna make the whole forest burst in flames.
Exactly. And then
Well,
Smokey the Bear is gonna have to show up and smack the shit out of him.
I look at the giant and say, "Well, the thought never occurred to me that I would be on fire."
You're traveling with asterisks. The thought should be occurring to you that you're in danger about 98% of the time.
With this bunch of idiots, everyone's in trouble all the time.
She looks at you like you kind of insulted her. The giant does, not Asterix. Asterix like back about it. You have no idea how smart Asterix is and what kind of ruler and tactician she was, do you?
I wasn't referring to her, I was referring to the bunch of sausage idiots.
Well, obviously, since from what Asterix can tell me, none of you has died. Technically, you're not idiots.
Uh, you're talking to the two who almost died.
The one who technically should have died, but Asterix saved.
Yes,
Like a true OG.
I almost died if it wasn't for her, and the turtle almost died too from being squashed by a manticore.
So you're saying basically you owe Asterix both your lives, and you owe her an eternal service of gratitude. Correct?
Yes, that's why I've devoted a religion to her.
A religion to Asterix, the pirate giant was. Now that's the first. Heard of people worship her as a queen, but never as a goddess.
Uh,
What's your reply to this, Natasha?
does it, never mind.
I'm just gonna use your as a things. And what about you, the one that calls herself Magnolia?
What about me?
Don't you owe Asterix an eternal service of gratitude?
Technically, yes, but I wouldn't know how to repay her.
By fighting for her whenever she would call upon you. That's how everyone here owes Asterix an eternal service of gratitude. Asterix made this place as a haven after her daughter Siona was born.
Oh.
That's all you hear replies? This great conversation.
Oh my
Oh.
god, trying to think here.
What about you, Turtle?
Out of character, did she make this place like before or after she was queen?
Asterix made this place. Well, how queens work in D&D is you're it until you die or get dethroned. Asterix never got dethroned, so she died. So her reign was only cut short because she died.
Alright.
And you would know that since you rolled the history check on Asterix before. And she did tell you that. So you would know it.
If Asterix made this while she was queen, couldn't she just, make a law to like allow all species to live like in her kingdom in peace and not have to be prosecuted?
Fire giant laughs, slapping her leg, and you kind of feel a bit of sparks go towards you. You can tell the room is fireproof. You
Ugh.
don't make me laugh. You expect to change 10,000 people's mind overnight with one law over thousands of generations of people teaching to fear us and hunt us? You
Uh,
can't
Yeah,
change
good point.
everyone with a law. And
uh,
this place proves it. It works outside the law.
well, that's true.
Hmm. Maybe
So this
slowly
was,
but surely we could, change their minds.
she laughs again. You'd have to undo roughly, asterisks. How long have you been alive and there's been prosecution against our races? Asterix thinks for a while. It's been the first time she's ever recalled her own age. Almost 1,000 years. And it's been, yeah, I'd say 1,000 years in like a couple hundred years. Fire Giant looks at you and she says, "You expect to undo 1,000 years of distrust that extends far beyond that and undo it in your lifetime. And how old are you, little one?"
Roughly about 24, about half my lifespan already.
It would take time much longer than yours. When Asterix started ruling, roughly, what was it? Two, three, four, 500 years ago? Something around there. She tried the best she could to change people's minds.
Sounds awful.
Even even her daughter Shiva tries the same thing. But alas, until the day finally comes when we're accepted, this place exists, and it's the next best thing. The crown knows of our existence, and the most royal guards don't give a shit, and they keep people away from here. And then because of the spell of privacy, no one really gets in without us knowing. And if they do manage to get in, she like cracks her knuckles, which you actually don't actually hear her cracking her knuckles, but she does it. She doesn't like how her anatomy works is it's somewhat stone, somewhat fire. So you hear the
Oh,
rocks grinding against each other as she cracks her thing.
yeah. I figured her body would be like gas, like her body would be like actual fire or like natural gas, and like the
So her
armor stuff would be like magma or the rocks or
so
whatever.
how a fire giant works is their face to their neck is pure fire, and it's enwrapped in like rocks or magma, and then their hair are their true fires.
That
So
sounds terrible.
their anatomy is all fire, and then it's wrapped around some magma to harden it.
Mm.
So they're not 100% flame, because if they were 100% flame, they'd just blow away
Oh yeah, that's true.
or disperse in little pieces.
That sounds
I would.
awful.
How does that sound awful?
I don't know. It just sounds awful.
Well, just Natasha, you're technically a bone skeleton in flesh meat with micro bodies and microorganisms living inside your entire body that consist of it, that live off you in a symbiotic relationship. You have tiny insects technically inside your body. How does that
What?
not set? Yeah, look up
That's like pretty much what
microorganism.
bacteria is.
Yeah, it's insects.
Oh,
Your entire body is filled with microbacteria. The stuff that digests foods, that's microbacteria. Your body's
damn.
filled with insects. So you're the weird one.
Uh,
Get fact shit on you.
Yeah, we're
I
just
have no
flesh bags.
opinion.
She's like inorganic matter.
Yeah, she's no, she's not. She's inorganic matter.
Oh,
You're
well, I mean,
organic
she,
matter.
yeah.
That
Yeah, but let's
sounds
just say
awful.
I deal with them, and I think my flames are hot enough to deal with most people. In fact, the first person I ever met who didn't burn alive when they got too close to me when I hit them was Astriek.
Really?
Yeah, and I smacked her against the solid stone column.
Uh, ow.
Well, I figured her rune markings would have given her some sort of protection.
Asterix didn't have all those markings she has now. They came to her with each great feat she proved herself to the Storm Lord. And let's say when we first met, she didn't have fire protection. However, she decided to, what's the word? Take the heat and just keep brutally punching into it. Even after I melted both her weapons.
That sounds terrible.
Well, she is a berserker. They're mainly known for using brute force when necessary.
That's
You
true.
just called Asterix a simple berserker? She
No.
laughed, and Asterix also laughs.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I
yeah,
don't
I'm
think
sure
you
it's like it's a funny
understand.
laugh.
Somewhat is. I don't think you understand the limit to that one's powers. It's very few people can fight black dragons unarmed. It's even fewer people can kill Hydra by themselves. And then even fewer people have defeated Ragnar and then ripped his horn out and then used it as a horn to cry into battle when they charged into the battlefield.
Damn.
Yeah, Asterix is a total fucking badass. Just don't fuck with her.
All the more reason to worship her as a goddess.
uh,
So, what do you think of Giant Kind? She opens her eyes, stares at you, and be honest. Or let's say I'll bring more of the heat.
Alright. See, let me think of something to say.
Think of something to say and think about it truthfully, because you will fucking know.
Alright. Um I think more of you giant if people got to know you giants better, that they wouldn't be hunting you down, like just because you're all so big.
She laughs. Is that why you think they hunt us down? Is because of our size?
uh-oh.
Yeah, I would have figured like what it would take to sustain you would like probably like drain like the village's resources to fend for themselves, like their own resources.
She knocks on a door and magma pours into the room like full on lava pours in next to her into like a bowl that has been handmade by dwarven steel. And again, it is dwarven black steel, so it's the
Really
hardest dwarven.
durable.
Yeah, it's the hardest dwarven steel you can come across. And she drinks and she says, "We don't need to burn villages and stuff. We technically live by fires. The problem is what we protect." And the fact that people fear us because we are way stronger than them.
That's kind of true.
People usually fear what they cannot control.
And what about you? Do you fear you cannot control? What's to stop me from dropping this shield? And she picks one of the massive dreadnought class shields, which I would say roughly 20 to 15 spikes that are roughly 12 feet in length with 8 feet wide spikes, each riveted around, has a true armored battalion shield for a dreadnought class fire giant.
Well,
What's the?
nothing. I'd say nothing
That'd
stopping
be
you from dropping
awful.
it.
But would you be afraid? The fact is, I could simply do it. I could
Um,
smash your face in the ground and you won't even feel it after the first 2 seconds. You'd be dead.
No,
Um.
I have no reason to fear you. You're not um you're not malicious, not scary. You're but a gentle giant, another
Roll,
creature.
roll perception, each one of you.
Oh
Why?
no.
Why me?
To
He,
make an
With
observation.
disadvantage. With
he's the one
disadvantage.
talking, not me. Not
It's
me.
for both of you. It's for both of you. It's regardless, that's with disadvantage.
Babe, if you get us
Alright.
killed, I will hate you.
No, like she's Asterix friend, so I'm sure she's not gonna kill us.
She might. You don't know that. You don't know where her loyalty lies. You don't know her alignment.
Perception is wisdom, right?
No, it's perception. There's its own check.
Damn it, I'm trying to look at it.
See, lowest number
Okay,
17, because I got 17 and 18 pretty much.
I have 15 plus 3.
That's your
I was
lowest?
like,
Oh, wait, what? Is
With
it
10.
disadvantage.
disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay, well, then it's 9 plus 3.
You completely immediately flinch as she smacks the shield down. Turtle, you don't even flinch. You just keep looking at it, and all of a sudden, Asterix is moved so fast you didn't even see it. She picks the shield up and she stops it from hitting any single one of you with one hand.
Told you. We have no
I,
reason to fear.
I
We're
have my,
besties.
I cover my face with my hands, freaking out.
I feared she kind of like fell over, like cowering a bit because like she failed or something.
Oh, also, Turtle's spike almost hits one of your head because of how tall they are. And technically,
Oh.
one of them would impale Asterix's arm.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Asterix
Hmm.
puts the shield back up and she says, "You know, there's better way to see if they would flinch. You could just try to hit them."
I think it would have been worse.
I mean, it'd be more or less the same result if you had not intervened.
Oh.
Yeah, I would have intervened either way. It's just one, she wanted to see if how fast I was, if I had gone soft. She like shakes off the like bloodied part of her arm because it had impaled through her hand into her shoulder.
Oh.
Hmm.
She just wipes off the blood. And the fighter replies, "Oh, relax. I knew you would have caught it in time. And you
Oh.
went slow with that one. You could have caught it way beforehand."
That makes me uneasy.
So what about you, one who's curled up in a ball on the ground? She looks to Magnolia.
Mm. Oh.
Is she always like this when something bad happens? Asterisk nods.
No, I'm not. I'm not curled up on the floor like this. This is the first time this has ever happened.
Well, you'd have to say that to the giant, but right now you're just currently intimidated and somewhat afraid.
Yeah, she's kind of like how Jay was yesterday, like curled up in a ball.
Yeah, no, like she's physically as intimidated.
Oh,
Yep.
it's like Asterix intimidating presence times 3.
Ooh.
Yeah, kind of. So right now you're cowering. Your words are stuttered and uneventful for a good bit.
Ooh. This is so mean.
It's D&D. It teaches you how to fail.
Yeah, but you fail in the most drastic ways and it's not funny.
I could
I mean,
just
at
let
least you didn't
Asterix
get like a
fucking.
nat 20.
I could have just fucking let Asterix not catch the shield and see what you would have done.
What?
Probably would have been instant death.
No, it wouldn't be instant death. You'd take. Hold on. I have to roll like 3d12s. Actually, probably more than that. You wouldn't instant die. You might instant die.
I would
But
have instant died.
I mean, I have
actually,
like 36 HP.
this Astrick starts wiping the wound clean.
Oh.
So this is the merry band back together again, Asterix. The Fire Golem asks Asterix, and she says, "Nah, I haven't seen much of the old people. I just saw Grimly on my daughter first, and then you. So the original 6 team is not back together again. And you know what happened to my, um, you know what happened to Sam." Her giant looks, and she says, "Yeah, I do, and I'm sorry I couldn't be there to save him." And none of you guys interject at all.
I can't
Well,
say anything. I'm intimidated.
you
She
can
can. She's
say
just
things
like stuttery and like scared.
like
You
how a
guys have
scared
to.
person would be who saw a ghost. You just stuttering. You kind of like wet your pants. It's like, yeah.
Don't say wet my pants because I'm already still wet from her getting me wet.
No, she brought her hand closer so you're warm.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So I guess I have to like roll a religion check or something for her dead husband.
What are you talking about? You all visited the fucking grave. That's
Oh
not her
yeah.
dead husband. She's talking about
Or
Fiona's dad.
oh yeah. I thought it was like the one that like she had to behead or whatever because of the artifacts.
No, she's never said his name. Just
Oh
truly
okay.
never said his name.
Oh.
Only one you
Oh
know is Sam.
oh. All right. Well, I'm sure you've all done like what you all that you could have done.
Ashik looks at you like you betrayed her in some level. I should have won. I shouldn't have sent him. I should have broken the peace. I should have known there would be a trap. I should have known he was in danger.
You blame
But
yourself?
No, that's worse. That's worse than what I said.
she also looks at you like she wants to you betrayed her.
I guess I lightly pat like the lower part of her back because of our height. It's like you can't bear the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Problem is I always bear the weight of the world on my shoulders.
Just because you're clean doesn't mean it's your fault that it happened.
Actually, it is. I sent in the broker the peace. I could have just outright crushed both rebellions. I could have gone there myself instead of sending an ambassador.
But what would you have done if you had died?
I don't think you understand. Very few people have ever been able to kill me. And the one person that did, let's say, I let happen.
You let someone kill you.
Because it was the Storm Lord's wish.
You let someone kill you because it was your God's wish.
Out of
Mm-hmm.
character, it's like pretty much like what happened with Obi-Wan in Star Wars, pretty much.
Basically, she chose to. She's basically like Qui-Gon Jinn. She's better than Obi-Wan. Don't ever compare to Obi-Wan.
All right.
She's the
Okay,
only
just like
reason why I
Liam
would say
Neeson.
she. The only reason I said she's like Qui-Gon Jinn is because she truly believes in her God and the will of magic, which is like the Force. She
Yeah.
truly believes in it. So that's why she accepted her own death, and that's why she let
Mhm.
herself be killed. Is because she believes it was the will of the gods and the will of magic.
That sounds just awful.
You say that, however, here I am back again, the same shit, protecting the world from the same shit I did years ago, all because some fucking crazy motherfucker decided to watch. Sorry, she wouldn't say that. Some crazy asshole. That's what I would say. That's exactly what I would say. Some crazy motherfucker. Some crazy asshole decided to rob my tomb.
What are we even gonna do about that since the goblin does not have the items?
You have no idea about that, Natasha.
We were there, remember?
Oh, she whispered it only to
To
Aiden, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Asterix was the only one that heard her because of her elf hearing.
Oh, is that right?
And you weren't there. You were at the butcher's.
Wait, what? We went with them from the butcher's, though.
After Asterix had heard it. And again, she whispered it to Aiden.
Okay.
So there's a lot you're interjecting that you don't know.
Well, I didn't know that it was that.
That's why you need to take notes. Just
I
kidding.
don't take notes.
Take notes then.
Yeah, that's why I have my notebook here.
I have literally like notes. I have so much notes.
I couldn't read my notes.
Then type them. Back to the thing. So, what was your response to that, Natasha? I have to admit that immediate response you did because you just said information you don't know.
I don't have anything.
Okay, well, then you say nothing. Turtle, do you have any retort to that?
Let's see. Where said that I should have been the ambassador. I should have gone in and crushed them instead of sending an ambassador. Oh.
Wow, he's checking his notes, Natasha.
How
Look at this.
fucking tedious are those notes?
Enough
Jesus.
to
I'm trying to
remember.
I'm trying to I just write down quick bullets about quick comments about what he said.
That's all you need. It's like writing notes for high school. You just write bullet points, and then that's
I
all.
didn't even write that good of notes. Damn.
Ambassador. Oh. Perhaps the Storm God has another plan to stop this world-ending event before it starts in some way.
You're looking at it. Asterix replies.
Oh.
All right, and that's the best, and that's the only plan we'll ever need. With a few help from some friends, of course. And then I wave to the fire giant. Sorry, I forgot to write her name in my notes. Did we get her name?
You never got her name. You never asked her name.
Oh yeah.
You guys have never asked your names for characters.
Yeah, I figured we would have gotten it after we introduced ourselves.
No, she never said it.
Oh, all right. I'll be sure to ask her that. Well, we could ask this fire giant for help. What's your name, ma'am?
What have you done to earn the right to know my name? Fire giant replies.
I would suppose to prove that I'm not fearful of you, but I suppose I'll have to do more to earn your name.
Names are meaningless. They come and go. I've withstand the test of times. After so many years, eventually everyone forgets your name sooner or later.
That's really bleak to think about.
Well, technically, giants are one of the oldest races in the game, next to elves.
Well, if you were to pick a moniker for yourself, what would you pick?
I know my name. I wouldn't pick a moniker. I already have one. I'm just not going to tell you it. And roll for charisma to see if you can try to convince her to tell you your name.
Alright, I was just going to call her a really tall fire giant, or in my notes, but alright.
This is what D&D is for. You just roll.
Alright. See, charisma. Oh, 18.
Okay, so how are you going to convince her? Because you still got RP. It does succeed, but you still got RP.
Alright. Well, I did prove myself with you dropping the shield, haven't I?
Somewhat. However, the other one that's currently still cowering hasn't. But I'll tell you, it's Azara.
Hey, that's not fair. Anyone would fucking be scared of a giant thing falling on them.
I mean, technically, Asterix didn't even flinch and impaled her, and the turtle didn't flinch. No, that's not how you spell it. It's with a Z. Azara. That's how you spell it. No,
Oh, sorry.
Azara.
Oh, Azara. I thought you said Azara.
Azara. Sorry. Azara.
Alright, I'll just write it down. Azara.
Is that one in the corner gonna be okay over there, Asterix? Asterix, like, nods. She'll be fine. She's seen worse.
I haven't seen very much worse.
She's
Well, you've
probably been
almost
getting stomped
died twice.
repeatedly.
Yeah, you've almost died, and you just saw a turtle get his ass kicked twice.
That's
And that was our first fight ever.
that's the only small amount.
What are you talking about? You technically should have died.
That would have been a real trip.
Like, technically you should have died, and you know Asterix saved you.
Yeah,
So
because her
technically,
reaction.
her reaction with the boots of the gods fucking was able to fucking move like so far, so unbelievably fast.
Yeah, I guess we have
And
to
it,
get like a high roll or something to do reaction stuff too, huh?
no, it's just I had a passive effect when I made her ghost to help her protect one of you in case one of you would outright die. And it's called Boots of the Gods, and it allows her to move really fast. However, she can only do it once or twice per day, and it's not
Yeah,
per long rest; it's per whole 24 hours.
yeah, it's like kind of like haste, except like you don't like get exhausted after.
She does. She still gets exhaustion.
Oh,
And because of how it works, when her next turn goes around, it skips her turn because of the exhaustion.
yeah, that's a fair trade off.
Yeah, and she can only do it twice.
Can I
I
get
might,
up now?
yes, but you're still kind of shaking.
I stand up, though my legs are shaky.
Well, I bet you'd have to roll a dex to make sure like your trembling legs don't make you trip over yourself like while you try to get up, like a dog trying to get up in the car.
I find it funny. Asterix is laughing, and she's technically bleeding.
Oh, this isn't funny. I don't want to die from a stupid shield being dropped on me.
Well, technically, it wasn't dropped on you. Like it was like stopped. Asterisk picked it up before it hit us.
Had she not, I would not want to die that way.
I've saved your life twice now, Magnolia.
what what should I do to repay you for it?
Praise her almighty abs, and then like I start kneeling before her.
Asterix laughs. No, just pay my tab at the bar.
You have all my
That might be
money.
tricky, seeing as how I am very low on gold, unless you know a bank nearby to exchange platinum.
She laughs again. I hate to say it, even if you had all your gold, Magnolia, and you turtle, you couldn't pay off my bars. My tab.
Did it cut?
Anything else?
Undenying servitude.
I already wanted to have you train me.
It's not servitude.
What is servitude?
I'm
Like
talking about
helping her.
No, that's not servitude. What Asterix is talking about is total, unreliable fealty to her.
What does that mean?
You'd be like us knight too. It would be like you'd be one of King Arthur's knights, and she'd be King Arthur, and you would completely do whatever she says.
I mean, I already do that now, but okay.
She's only asking Magnolia
Is
this.
not you, dude?
What?
I'm saying it's not you, dude.
Yeah, she didn't save you. So you lived everything. She hasn't had to save you. She just saved Magnolia twice.
Oh,
All right, I'll do your servitude.
So you swear total unfealty to a ghost who's died roughly 200 years ago.
Yes. As absurd as it sounds.
Well then, best of luck to you. And you got some bandages. They seem to be bleeding more than expected.
I have a potion.
Nah, no potions. I'll just let it bleed out then.
you could always use good berry, like it's like 1 HP, but something.
I don't think that heals wounds, though.
It doesn't heal open wounds.
No, it
Oh,
doesn't.
never mind.
It doesn't matter. She doesn't care about it.
she would go with a bleeding effect.
She would outlast it. She
I
would
mean, yeah,
outlast.
she's a barbarian. She has like one of the biggest hit die for like any
And
any
she has
type
one
of.
of the. So how your health works is it works off your hit die and your constitution. And
Yes.
right now I'm gonna
Mhm.
say we're gonna leave it at that right now since it's 10:35. But yeah, so it works off your hit die and your constitution. So that's why she has a lot of strength and a high constitution when I first made her.
Yes.
Mhm.
Alright, well I will see you guys
Friday.
soon. Yeah.